Another wonderful edition of VPR Radio with your girl Kiana the Goddess and the incredible, the exceptional, the talented DJ FMI in the building. How
How
are
you
you,
doing,
partner?
brother? Oh man, VPR. I've had better days. It is a great day here in New York City, and I don't know if it's allergies or
I
I
can
just
hear it.
recovered from the flu. But yeah, so it's been
Or
trying. But
I'm
we here.
screaming on the mic. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, and I got a DJ
all
later, so
night.
I'm hanging in there. VPR. I'm keeping high spirits, high energy, high vibrations like we always do here Thursday.
Always, always, partner. I'm definitely happy to be here. It has been a long week as well. Winter got sick, so she was sick a couple of days and out of school, and it was just like, ugh, it's always something, But we keep it moving, we keep
Have
it
to,
pushing.
have to.
Yeah.
Kiana, have you been tuning in with the what was it? Grammys, I think. What it was?
Okay.
Or,
I'm not big on watching the award shows. I just find out the shenanigans from social media.
no, you see, and that's why I wanted to bring it up too. Like, I hate how every year we have this process that we we, we moan about, we dislike, we say we don't want to be a part of,
Hmm.
and then we still have some kind of people to represent us there. My thing is, when it comes to them giving out some of those Grammys, as far some artists are getting it way earlier in their stages, while other artists have been in the game for 15, 20. Like, you know what I mean? Shout out to Tyler the Creator. I know he took home some. Adrigo, I can't. I don't even want to mispronounce her name. She took home a few awards, but
Yeah.
I was just watching some of our legacy acts, and I was just like, yo, it's funny how much work they put in crafting their albums, also for it to be nominated but overlooked, and
Hmm.
it leaves
That's
a weird
a
taste in my
very
mouth.
good point. I mean, and that's been the case though consistently with all of these award shows, from Emmys to Grammys to Oscars to Tonys, especially when it comes to artists of color, right? There is a lack of appreciation in that open community. Hey Venus, shout out to Can I Buy? Most definitely all of your 420 goods available. Check them out.
Need some.
That yeah, love, love, love her. That's my sister. Um, but I think the the spirit of it all gets lost when you see that every single year it's like the same repeat. And then when you see situations like what happened at the Oscars, it's like, oh, okay, what are we doing? You know, we need to create our own. I mean, I think that's I'm just a big proponent of creating something that we have full ownership over, because like you said, people in the game 15, 20 years consistently selling records, selling platinum records, and not receiving those, accreditations, if you will, through receiving those big awards. So
Yeah.
it's like, what is the measure? What's the measurement for going from a nominee to an actual winner? And shout out to, Four Wheel City. They were up
They were
there.
there living it up with Nas. I seen it.
Exactly. Shout out to Nas. We were
Yeah.
politicking at that event for the Showtime documentary for Video Music Box. But I just really think it's so dope. And shout out to Derek Lindsay, who was actually nominated as well for
Yes, that
a
was amazing.
Grammy.
I
So
forgot to say
yeah,
that.
it's lovely to see our amazing guests doing these incredible things. It makes me feel so great inside. But it's kind of like it's a twofer, because then when you see, okay, now they're having some disability, inclusion, I think that's important. It's important for us to come in and stand up and say we're here and we need to be recognized. So, yeah, I see the improvement. At the same time, it's like taking steps forward but also taking them backwards. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you
Yeah.
see areas where you're like, wow, this is fantastic, I want to see more of this, but we're still not giving Grammys to those that we feel, many of the fans feel, deserve them.
Like when I sat there and I seen, I think, hip hop album, and I seen Tyler the Creator won it. I'm not the biggest Tyler the Creator fan, but I listen to his music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never gonna take away from his artistry. I think he's dope, and he has times where he's questionable on stage, but he's a funny guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Against like a Donda, you know what I mean? He was going up against a Donda, and even though I wasn't the biggest Donda fan,
Hmm.
Donda as a collective work, what he did there in
Hmm.
creating a full album,
Hmm.
that I can respect.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm so used to getting these albums now from artists that they'll come out with one single, and after that, nothing sounds like that single again.
Right, right. Because, we want to be making music that's different and we don't want all the songs to sound the same. But at the same time, you need to capture what your sound is and have a cohesiveness to your project. I mean, I say this all the time. We were talking about this during Fashion Week, right?
Yeah,
but through collections and such. It's important because you're telling us a story through music, through art, through film, whatever. So there has to be a cohesiveness. Like, I don't like when I watch a movie and it's all over the place. I like being able to think and things be out of the box, but like all over the place. Like, okay, Eyes Wide Shut. Did you ever see that movie?
Eyes Wide Shut. No, but you're gonna make me see it right now by Twitter.
Tom Cruise. This is an old movie from the 90s. It was very controversial. It was kind of like Illuminati, sexcapade, orgy type of base, but it had all of these little subplots. But that movie was all over the place. That one and another one that Tom Cruise did, Vanilla Sky, all over the place.
Qiana, can I ask you one thing? Because there's only one movie in my lifetime that I had to walk out of. You ever had a movie you had to walk out of? VPR, please, if you've ever had to walk out of a movie, please put it in the chat and just let us know which movie. But that, like, have you ever been so disgusted or turned off?
I don't think I've ever been so turned off by a movie. I walked out more because of the nonsense that was going on, but it was we have our guest in the building. That's wonderful. It was one of those M. Shyamalan films where they had the mic. Remember, the mic was.
It was one thing. You know, it's funny that you say that. I think it was the same director. You know the movie Mother? Mother. I don't know if it was like Shyamalan, but the movie Mother, Qiana. I sat in it for hours and not understanding what was going on. And I'm here. Like, I'm like, what?
I don't like that.
It was so gory, and they had a child, and they were going to, like, sacrifice the child on camera on this movie.
Oh, no. I got to go.
And I was just like, this is just getting too much. Like, I'm saying that as a guy, and I had to, like.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't.
Forfeit my dollars.
Like that. That's definitely too much. And movies are now, $20 plus a ticket.
Yeah. 2 tickets yesterday. Trust me, because Sonic the Hedgehog just came out. VPR, watch. We want to make sure we get a sponsorship with that. Sonic the Hedgehog just came out. I wanted to see it. Early access tickets for 2 people cost $52.
Yeah.
Just for tickets.
Kids. I know.
$52 to go see Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm all right. I'm gonna wait.
That's just tickets.
I'm gonna wait.
Doesn't even. We're good because we're abundant. And we constantly, let the flow go out and let the flow come right back in. But I definitely want to welcome our very special guest because we're going to get into these finances, right? How we're spending and how we're paying attention to. We want to definitely bring up to the stage Mr. Rony Francois. Welcome to VPR Radio. Thank you for joining us. How are you this morning?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing this morning?
How you doing,
We're doing fantastically. So out of the gate, right, there's a lot of things that you are involved in, from credit repair to financial wellness and advocacy, which I think is very, very important because a lot of us weren't taught finances from the time that we were young from our parents, especially if we didn't grow up where parents were managing a household with finance as well. That's not something they knew. It's not something they passed down. It's definitely not something that's been part of many schools' curriculums. So can we talk about, first of all, how you got started in this field and why you're passionate about it?
Oh, cool. I definitely appreciate it. Again, I definitely want to thank you guys for having your amazing platform. I definitely appreciate the opportunity. Very humble, feel very blessed. You guys doing awesome work. I got started in the credit pay industry. Believe it or not, one time I had bad credit. It was so bad, I used to hope somebody would steal my identity. That's how bad it was. But we all know if you got bad credit, nobody's going to steal unless they just practicing.
Right.
And after a lot of years of trials, errors, a lot of mistakes, trying to fix it, I was ready to give up because I was like, you know what? It has to fall off eventually, 7 to 10 years. I mean, it's inevitable. So I'll just ride it out. Well, what's the worst that could happen? But in the process, I realized I had to find a place to live. I had to get cell phones. I had to buy a car. So I had to use credit. It was inevitable. I couldn't stay away from it. And, I couldn't, and it started affecting my lifestyle, my family, my kids, because credit impacts how you live, how you eat. In fact, everything that you do. I always say there's 2 times you don't need credit. Because when you date and when you go to jail, other than that, you're always going to need credit. So after a lot of trials and errors, a lot of mistakes, I was able to learn the credit games. I studied it. I want to help other people. So that's pretty much how I got into it.
So, how long would you say that it took you to figure out, okay, I need to make this better? Like, how much time did you put into your research in learning? And then what compelled you to want to help others? And how did you build that into an actual business?
So it took me about 5 years of researching and studying. And then even today, I'm still studying and reading every single day because credit changes every single day. So I'm always learning new stuff. Um, Again, so once I learned that, I was like, you know what, there's probably other people that's probably like me that don't know about credit, don't know about, how to study it and how to make it work. And then, so I started helping people, just random people for free. And then I built it into a business where I was able to help other people. But then I took it a step further than that. I realized a lot of people just need the knowledge, they need the books. And then that's when I wrote 2 books to help people. And then I took that step further. I made the ebook free. That way you can say, I couldn't afford the book. So I eliminated that barrier for a lot of people. And now, I work with businesses, CEOs, nonprofits, again, just getting the information out there, just making a positive impact. Hopefully, I can get a couple more books out this year, depending on how my schedule looks.
You're muted, partner.
There we go. I didn't even peep. Thank you, Qiana. So, Rony, if you don't mind, what traps do people normally fall in when it comes to the credit system that you normally come across?
I guess the most important thing, the biggest mistake people make is they don't look at the credit report. You can't fix it if you don't look at it. They just figure, I'll just ignore it. I'll put it in a little box, throw it away. I won't have to see it. But no, that's the opposite. You have to look at it. Because even through the free annual creditreport.com, you actually get a free copy of your credit report once a year for free. So there's no reason why everybody should not look at the credit report at least once a year. Like I said, I think that's the biggest mistake, as they ignore it and they just think it's going to go away by itself. Because 1 out of 10 Americans don't even know what's on the credit report. And that's pretty bad.
Can you tell us some common tips that like the average person can do? Let's say someone hasn't looked at their credit report for a couple of years, right? And they're watching this show and they're like, okay, damn, I need to check this out. What are some red flags, right, that they can look out for, things that they can maybe contest and get off their credit report? And then what are a couple of things that they can do to maybe boost their credit score?
So that's a good question. Actually, you can contest anything that's on your credit report that you don't recognize, that looks bad, that's misinformation, and it's inaccurate. If it's on your credit report, if it's not correct, you can contest anything that's on it. You can actually dispute it through the credit bureaus, through the third-party collection companies. So there's different methods that you can actually use to dispute it. So I think the mistake that a lot of people make when they dispute stuff, they don't do the factual dispute, but actually you look at the laws that's on the books and you use that against the credit bureaus. Because if you're using the law against them, it's kind of hard for them to, deny you. So that's the mistake a lot of people make. And a lot of people don't know the laws. They don't know about the FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act. So it's hard to use the laws if you don't know. And that's why my book is really, really important. It's called Break the Cycle. You don't have to live with bad credit, because actually breaking the cycle is give you the meat and potatoes. What did you and not to do? And as far as building credit, one of the easiest things that you can do to build positive credit is be an authorized user on somebody else's credit card. Let's say you have a mom, a dad, uncle, or cousin, and they have close to perfect credit. They can add you on an authorized user. Of course, if you have a lot of negative items on your credit report, you're going to see little to no impact. But if your credit's pretty decent, you have a lot of negative credit, a lot of negative and inaccurate information, you will see a boost. And that's the easiest thing that you can do. And it's also really good for kids too. If you have younger kids in your house, let's say they're in high school, because most credit card companies, you can add kids on as early as the age of 14. So just imagine you have a 15-year-old, you put them on your credit card, a couple of your credit cards. By the time they get out of high school, they can have a 650, 700 credit score. And now they don't need a cosigner to get that first car, because they've been on your credit report. They've been on your credit as a young child. But see, the only thing as an authorized you is whatever you do is going to impact that person. So if you got perfect payment history, it's going to help that person. If you miss a payment, that's going to impact that person too. So that's why you have to pick somebody that's responsible, that has good to perfect credit.
Now, Qiana, if you don't mind me asking a question. So Is it better to carry over a small balance or to pay it off right away? Because I heard some people give me information about that, and what's the best course of action?
It's a brilliant question.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So, no, so you don't really have to carry no balance over. Let's just say you buy like a pack of gum. Might cost like 50 cents or $1, depending on whatever state you're in. You can pay that off as soon as it shows up on your credit, on your statement. You can pay it. So you don't have to carry no balance over. Now, let's say like 6 months, 8 months go by, you don't use that credit card. Sometimes they might close the account because it's non-activity. But then you can also reach out to the credit, ask, how long, can you go without any activity before they close the account? Because then once they close the account, then your credit is going to take a dip because now you don't have that account your credit report. So you don't have to carry nothing over. But certain credit cards do require some type of activities every so often.
Yeah, I think people don't realize sometimes too, like if you just pay off a credit card and then close it, that may not even help your credit, especially if that was one of like your older accounts, because I know having an older account, like your length and history is important. Can we also talk about like your credit usage ratio, how that works and how that affects your credit?
Yeah, so there's 5 components that make up your credit score. The first one is your payment history, which is 35% of your credit score. If you notice that, like whenever you make a payment on your credit cards, whenever you bring that balance down, like you should see some type of increase in your score, whether it's like 1.2, 0.5, 10 points. That's the biggest percentage, 35%. The second one is the credit utilization. The credit bureaus recommend that you never go above 30% on any one of your credit cards. But actually, I recommend 10% or lower, to be honest with you, because typically if you used to just keeping it at 30%, let's say emergency happened and you got to take it to that 50% or 70%, your score is going to take a drop. But if you used to keep it at 1% or 2%, then unexpected emergency happened, you have to use that. It's going to go up. It might go up to like 29, maybe 30, but you just want to keep it 10% or lower, or even single digits. And that's the best way to do it. Keep it single digits. And I know if you have a credit limit like $100, $200, I mean that's not going to really be a whole lot. But in order to win the credit game, you have to play the game. And 30% is a magic number, but really 10% or lower. That's how you see the biggest impact.
Perfect. And I just have one last question, then I'll let FMI ask his as well. Can we talk about business credit?
You were asking my next question, so I was just going to ask that. I have 20 people in the chat right now.
Absolutely. We have so many entrepreneurs that watch and engage with us. So I definitely want to talk about business credit, and especially how your personal credit, specifically if you're like a solo entrepreneur, how that can affect your business credit as well, and what we can do to build business credit.
Yeah, so business credit does have an impact on your personal credit. But when you first start off a business, you don't have no collateral. You don't really have nothing for them to use. So what they do is they're going to look at your personal credit, because if you need like a working capital, let's say 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, they're going to look at your personal credit. So in the beginning, you will have to have good personal credit, because they're going to have to use that as collateral in order to give you the fund that you need to get that business started. And there are multiple ways of getting that business credit, get it going. There are definitely different tools. And I do have some business partners that focus strictly on that business credit. That'd be more than happy to help anyone that have questions about business credit. But in order to, like I said in the very beginning, you will have to have good personal credit, because they need that as a collateral to show that you're responsible. Because you got to remember, like your credit report is almost like your adult. Trying to think. It's like your adult credit. The thing that you get when you're in school.
Report card?
Yeah, yes.
I see report card all year long. I know.
Yeah, it's like your adult report card. It just shows what have you been doing the last 24 months. And that's why it's good to have that good payment history, good credit. But actually, they look at your whole credit profile. What have you been doing the last 2 years? Like you mentioned earlier, your credit profile is very, very important, because you could have, a 650, 750, and you can still get denied credit, because they're looking at your whole profile. So that's very, very important. A lot of people don't realize that, because you can still get denied credit for certain banks with a high credit score. if the last 2 years, if you had like a lot of unprofessional credit reports. That's very, very important.
And now, my personal friends are contacting me in the live chat. They're saying my score is at a 650. I need help now. And right now, he's just like, what can I do within the week that could change that around or to make some kind of adjustment to the score? Or how can I get myself out of this, if I'm reading correctly?
So the biggest thing you can do right now is you can actually make sure your credit utilization is real low. Again, they recommend 30%, but you take it down to 10% or even a single digit, you will see an increase. The second thing you can do, you can reach out to your creditors. Like the ones that you have good payment to perfect payment history, you can say, what are the qualifications for credit limit increase? And if you've been really good with these people like the last year, 2 years, they're going to give you the credit limit increase. Another one you can do, you can piggyback. Let's say you have a spouse, wife, husband, whatever the case might be, and they have good to perfect credit. They can add you on as an authorized user. So those are the easy three things that you can do, and then you will see an increase in your credit score the next 30 to 45 days.
That is amazing information. VPR, please make sure you add him on IG as well, because this information that we get here, he took time out of his day on his gloomy Thursday in New York City just to drop all these jewels here. VPR, make sure y'all follow him, and shout out to all of our subscribers. Qiana, you have any more questions?
Well, I definitely just wanted to know what's next up for you. I know that you are a motivational speaker, so you're very passionate about this topic, and you go around teaching. Where can we find you besides on social media? Do you have any events coming up? I know you were talking about possibly dropping another book this year. So just what's next for you?
So I think May the 4th, I have an event in San Diego, California, where I'll be a guest speaker. Business partner of mine out there, she read one of my books, the second book, The 10 Credit Commandment that I wrote with my kids. And she thought that book would be a good thing to cover her event. So I'm doing that in San Diego. Start my own podcast sometime next month, which is really, really dope. Again, just out there, just, sharing a message with people, just giving that free knowledge, that free game. Because there's over like 22 million people that do what I do. But the biggest difference, I focus on the educational piece, and then I make it available pretty much free for anybody that want it. So that's what separates me from the rest. And then, you can find me on Instagram, Mr. Rony_credit hero. You can go to my website, RonyFrancois.com. And if all of that fails, you could actually Google me. I'm Googleable, Rony Francois, the credit hero. So there's no excuse why you can't get in contact with.
Amen to that. We like that, right? Just Google, okay?
The credit hero. I'm saving you. I got you.
The credit hero. I mean, that says a lot. And we appreciate that because, specifically on our platform, we're all about building knowledge and being able to get that out to the masses. And financial literacy is such an important component of that because especially for people of color, we've missed that element of building generational wealth. And it's pieces like this that are essential to getting us step by step and making it there. So we really appreciate you. We would definitely love to have you back over the next couple of seasons and talk about what else you have going on. And we appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much for joining us, Rony.
Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate it. Again, the ebooks I can make available to everybody that's on your platform. The 10 Credit Commandment and Break the Cycles. If they wanted, they can reach out to me.
Absolutely. How can they reach you to receive that ebook?
They can, hit me with a DM in my inbox to say, free ebook, and I have my assistant email the ebooks out to them. And of course, the books are available on Amazon too. But again, just getting the information out there, making a positive impact throughout the United States.
Yeah, that's really dope. We appreciate you. Keep being the credit hero. We salute you.
Please.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Looking forward to having you back on, man.
Thank you.
Take care.
Qiana, it's moments like that, VPR, like that when we have a guest and when he's dropping his knowledge of what he's been through in his life, and he could give me some of his professionalism and advice, that matters more to me. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you guys could take away the same message from Rony. We still do have a second guest coming up, and I can't wait for that also.
Oh, yeah. He's litty in the city.
Qiana, once again, we come on VPR, and I started with low energy because I was just like, I got to get this right, got to grab all. And now I'm feeling top of my game.
I'm just telling Distruck to slide on through. But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that I love so much about our show is like, no matter what my energy levels are before I get here, by the time I get on VPR, it's like, yes. And then when I leave here, I feel rejuvenated.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bianca, that's great. So please make sure you go and follow him. If you look at our Facebook post, you'll see the flyer, and it actually has his Instagram as well. You can follow him there, or I can give you some of his links, and you can go and hit him up and get that free ebook for your son for sure. And please share, because we love to spread the love on financial literacy. And I love what we do, partner. I love what we do, and I love our guests.
All right. What is it saying? Reach one, teach one, or teach one?
Each one, teach one.
There we go. So, Qiana, I know you don't watch the news, but I'm going to be honest with you, VPR. This is my personal sentiment. It's crazy what's going on in New York City with just through COVID. And the crimes are up every day. I turn on my
more and more.
YouTube. Mm-hmm. Someone's grandmother's being assaulted. Someone's being jumped, and they're recording it in the thing. Guys, if I have a platform, I'm just going to try to say, please, can you calm it down in these streets? Mm-hmm. We are all we have. At the end of the day, I understand you might have gripes, and they might get deep, and they may run deep, but nothing's deep enough to take someone's life, because you can't take that back.
No.
And especially if you're doing it in New York City, where there's a camera on every block, if your life is worth sitting behind a cell, VPR, just be mindful when you make that move.
Think twice. I mean, like we know, and we discuss all the time, anger and emotional volatility and just mental illness are at an all-time high. I think especially, after experiencing COVID, a lot of people kind of went through a process and snapped. People that were already at the brink kind of went over the edge. We've had issues with finances, people losing their jobs.
Still have issues with finances.
People getting fired for not, opting not to get the vaccine. So you never know what someone else is going through. And I think this is why, for me, being that young hothead that I used to be, and people will often try to jolt you into some sort of negative engagement, right? You've got to be the one to pop off a little bit differently. So I always bring sunshine and sprinkles to the party. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, it can go left. I don't like for it to go left, but it can go left. I don't ever want it to go left, but if it has to go left, I'll take it left. But I try to keep it on the right side of the street. You know what I mean? And keep the sunshine and the sprinkles and purple glitter and just make everyone happy, because at the end of the day, like you said, all we have is each other. And I know we can't fix these crazy people out here, but just be good to each other, you guys, because you never know who you'll engage with. And that might be the person that was just about to do something crazy, and you just made them feel a little better. Because I'll tell you something, I get some very questionable folks that come up to me, and they don't come up to me on no negative. Sometimes they do. Like, I've had people come and stare in my face, and I'm like, staring right back.
I got time
like, random homeless guys, like, what are we staring at, sir? Or sometimes just come up and just give me a barrage of their story. And I feel like they were drawn to me, right? Because of my empathic energy. They needed to let that go. And after they let that go, they felt better. Right. And now I'm holding it like, okay, what the hell is this that they just gave to me?
Unloaded on me.
Like, holding it though. I'm like, okay, I'm glad you got that off your back. And then they go on their way. But you never know what that encounter really was about. There's so much divine things that happen around us. And that's why I say, just embrace it. Sometimes be a little patient with others. You don't always have to go first. People always cutting in front of me on a train and stuff. And sometimes you lose your patience, or, when you're driving, they cut you, roll the window down. You don't even have to do all of that. You know what? Let them go. Let them go. Because at the end of the day, if there's an accident up there, they're running up toward it. So let them run. Don't rush the universe. They want to go first. Let them go first.
And just being from New York, we already deal with so many hot tempers and different personalities during the day.
Yes.
It becomes overwhelming. You know what I mean? And honestly, Qiana, if we could do one thing with VPR, I would like to figure out if we could meet with an organization to just help some of the homeless people.
Yes.
After COVID, I cannot walk outside and just keep a blind eye to it. And I do want to help the people. I understand during COVID we did the Thanksgiving drive, and I definitely want to look out into
Job Corps. I definitely have an organization that we can work with and collab with. So I will reach out to my contact at Common Ground. They actually help to provide housing. They actually have a lot of housing for homeless in the city and in the outer boroughs. So definitely reach out to them. Love to do some sort of fundraiser or whatever we can do to help. It's so essential. I see so many homeless people, and it's an oxymoron because you see homeless people right outside of millions of dollars of real estate.
And Qiana, it's not being addressed. And it's just like, my thing is, especially with the mayor now of New York City, Eric Adams, I understand you were a police officer. That's not even here or there. That's great. But at the same time, figure out opportunities to help these homeless people other than like cleaning up their encampments and throwing it in the back of a garbage. You'll come back a week later. No, put them in a place, put them in the treatment that they need, give them opportunities to these organizations that can help them.
Right.
Don't bog it down with paperwork, because apparently, they're not going to be working up through the paperwork. You're homeless. So dealing with technology, paperwork, they don't have the opportunities to actually work with the
Absolutely.
city. And this is what
I like. That's what I like about Common Ground, because they're a nonprofit. And a lot of times, like, if you put a homeless individual, and let's say they're a category A, which is basically they have some sort of mental health issue, right? Through a regular like back to work program or something, through the regular shelter system, that may or may not work for them because they may not be stable enough to be in a work environment. All of those things have to be considered. And if they're not stable enough to maintain a job, or if they have some sort of addiction, what's going to happen? They're going to lose their apartment all over again, and it's going to get the path right back to homelessness. So just like with jail, right, with prison, there's no real reform when people go into prison. They're forced into doing different types of work, but it's not like they're specifically saying, hey, okay, you're here. Pick a trade, right? Learn a trade, and let's see how we can teach you about financial literacy, about self-respect, about some basic life skills while you're here in prison, because we know that that's how you wound up here. And then they put them back on the streets and they wind up going back to what they knew. So it's kind of the same process with homelessness, and that's why we see that vicious cycle. So I like what they do, because when they provide housing, they provide actual stable housing for, so they're not paying rent or whatever because they're not stable enough to be able to do so. But they also need help. They need help from the city and whatnot. So let's definitely discuss that further. I would love to be involved with that, and also with helping specifically homeless LGBTQ youth. Because unfortunately, that's like the highest population of homeless. What happens is a lot of times these kids come out to their parents, or they're being themselves, and their parents see who they are and they throw them out into the street, which is a very, very harsh way of things. We could prevent homelessness, prevent suicide, prevent more pain and more hurt in any way, shape, or form. I'm all for it, partner. As I'm sure is our Libra bro coming on the scene, because us Libras, we're all about philanthropy and showing the light and love. Let's welcome Distruck to the building. What's up, Distruck?
What's up? What up? What up?
How are you?
Happy New Year to you both. It's first time me seeing you both.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it.
Even further for me and you, DJ. Yeah.
How's everything been with this with the start of the year, my
Great,
brother?
very, very busy, very hectic, but in a good way. Busy. Got the album coming out in a month.
Oh, we're definitely gonna touch on that. Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk on that.
Yeah.
Last time we seen you at our Pudgy the Fat Bastard listening party, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. I got to see you after that with Pudge, actually for Ghetto Chronicles.
Shout out to you and Pudge for pulling up to the show, showing me my other element, doing something else. Yeah.
What a show. He can act his ass off, partner.
So he's an actor.
You see the switch ups, right? You see the different switch ups I had to do.
Absolutely.
No intermission. Character switch up, different scenes.
Yeah.
VPR, check out this man's Instagram. See, I've seen a few clips of him acting with Showtime, I think. And I was just like, this is amazing. I didn't know what was going on at first. I thought you were actually having a confrontation. And then when I seen you guys going through, I'm like, oh, they sold me on it. I actually believed it.
No, those are their skits, but I mean like on the stage, like Broadway style acting, bro.
Oh,
when you guys come back on, we'll come out. Me and you, we'll go out to Photo Chronicles.
I'll keep you posted on the next show dates and stuff.
Yeah, it's a really
I'll
dope
always
show.
keep you posted on what we got going on.
Definitely want to see MC Heaven again.
Yeah, we got some new scenes coming up. We got some switches. Again.
Okay, I'm sure I'll cry again. That shit is a little triggering.
Oh, you still gonna cry? It's still an emotional roller coaster.
I know,
but
crying out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but go ahead, partner.
So let us know about this album. What is the name of this album? What inspires you?
Yeah, this is my baby. I've been working on it since I started the label in 2020. It's called No Substitute.
Congratulations on opening your label.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. And you said the album is called Substitute?
No Substitute.
No Substitute.
Yeah.
Explain to me that title, please.
Yeah.
It was real easy. I'm the only one of my kind in the whole world. There's nothing like me. I'm just me. I'm a one of one. You can't get what I do anywhere else. And it's pretty cool to be able to say that in this day and age where originality is so rare. It's at an all-time low. It's actually being encouraged to sound like another dude that has a wave going on. It's kind of a negative if you don't sound like something that sounds familiar right now. So, yeah, man, that's why I call it that.
No Substitute. And just to give a background of where you're from, can you just tell our VPR listeners where you're from, your story? How did you get into acting? How did you get into music?
Well, I'm from Yonkers, New York originally.
Shout out
weird
to all
because I was born in the Bronx, but lived my whole life in Yonkers. So if I got to give my birth certificate, I got to go to City Hall. Weird, but yeah. I was just born in a hospital in the Bronx, so that's my birthplace. But the acting thing was never in the cards. I picked up the music, the rapping thing like early on. It started out as a Tool event. It was just me expressing how I felt on the inside, and over time it developed into a true talent. You know what I'm saying? Even when I first started rapping, I always had respect for it, where I knew I wasn't good at first. I knew that. You know how people think just because
you're the hottest thing, just because you're the hottest?
I was never that guy. I was always honest.
Yeah, I respect that, because a lot of guys really think they're so hot when they're not, and you can't tell them otherwise.
Yeah, and their friends really not their friends because they tell them they are.
Like, yo, that's hot.
Until when they go somewhere where their friends ain't there, and then somebody tell them the truth, and they can't handle it. Now they want to fight everybody.
Do you ever see like three or more guys around a phone listening to some straight trash, and they all jamming like, yeah, yo, and I'm like, y'all know damn well there's nothing hot about what's coming out of that phone right now.
And then if you tell them the truth, you hating.
I know, but then when homeboy walks away, they be like, yo, that shit was trash, B. But you were jamming.
I seen events end because of that, because people are so sensitive because they get their ego massaged so much.
Yeah.
That when somebody that don't care about their feelings gonna tell them the truth,
right?
They can't handle it.
And those are even people you have around you that love you. Not to say that they don't care about your feelings, but if they care about your feelings, they should tell you the truth, right? Because I want my people to do better. So if I see that you can do better, I'm going tactfully, especially if you ask my opinion. If you don't ask my opinion, look, no face, no case. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ask my opinion, I'm going to give you a real opinion. And I'm a Libra, so, I'm going to do it tactfully and beautifully. But if you don't like constructive criticism, you ain't going to like it.
Hey, Qiana.
Yeah. Don't ask me what I think then. If you just want to hear what you want to hear.
Well,
I tell people that all the time. Like, if you're going to argue with me after you ask me what I thought, then I'm going to just keep my thoughts to myself. I'm going to just let you rock.
I look at it
don't look at me when you hear somebody else say what I tried to tell you nicely. They say it in another way. Well, you could have corrected it if you was listening to me. That's you.
In the age of
don't look at me artists, now. I tried to help you.
In the age of artists releasing songs like what was that song by Kanye? Poopity Scoop.
Scoop.
Scoop. And remember, he dropped that. Like, that came out on all streaming platforms, and it ended up in my Serato. And when I played it, and people sang it in the club, and I was just like,
Wow.
mind blown. Poopity scoop. Scoop.
That fame is a thing, man. Just
That's
like
crazy.
fame alone, you can get
I'll
away
do
with a lot
anything,
when you're
and
famous.
people will buy it, right? It's definitely the masses and the sheepism behind it. At the end of the day, you can appreciate
That
music
part.
and you can appreciate an artist, but you can also appreciate when someone isn't doing their best and giving their best. You feel me?
And I love Kanye to death. He's one of the very best artists we've had to ever come along. But I'm not doing that. That's crazy.
Millions of
He's too good.
subscribers.
He's too talented of an artist to be doing that. And people do not.
But that's why he does it, because with Kanye,
he's troll. He's a troll. He knows what he's doing.
And he's further than a troll. He's also got a massive ego. Okay, and with that massive ego that often comes with the money and the fame, etc., people start to often diminish their own talent, right? Or feel that they're so above that they can do whatever and they can do no wrong. So it's it almost becomes God complex-ish.
We're
not here to talk about Kanye.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Talk about Distruck.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sitting here wondering what's going on with this No Substitute.
Yeah, man, this is the first project I've done. I'm sorry.
When I turn on No Substitute, what energy do I get? What type of hip hop do I get? What type of artistry do I get from the first song? Explain that experience.
Well, I'm the type of person where when I'm able to do a project, I like to show range. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's important if you can do that, and that's part of the reason why I'm my own boss, I'm my own artist, because I'm not. Anytime I'm around someone else's situation, they want to mold me into what they think I should be. So I'm able to have. In the beginning, I'm a hardcore artist first. That's me. But over the years, I've matured. I know more. I can do more musically. So I'm more into making music as well. Like when it's time to be barred up, I can be barred up. When it's time to make a radio friendly joint, I got that too.
So,
like,
what are you giving us? What are you giving us? When we turn on track one, what are we hearing? What kind of
energy? What are we hearing? What are we hearing?
And thugging it out, or are we loving in the club?
I'm not really thugging it out in the beginning. On track one is more of an intro.
Okay.
I'm a rapper first and foremost, so I start the album off as a rapper. I'm letting you know what it is.
Bars first right now. So you want to jump in bars first.
But I did it in a way where I did it in a way like this. Like, let's see if I could be dope without talking about shooting somebody, or without selling drugs, and without degrading a woman.
I like that.
It still be hard. It still be dope.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what I did coming in. Straight rhymes, barred up, but none of those three elements I named. I'm not shooting nobody, I'm not selling drugs, I'm not degrading women on that track. But I'm still a force to be reckoned with. You know, a lot of people won't get it because they used to hearing certain things from hardcore artists. And that's on that particular track, on my intro, I'm just letting you know. I'm not the one. I'm not these other dudes out there. Respectfully, I'm not these other dudes.
No substitute.
No,
that's what you letting them
called the Mecca rapper. The first song is called that.
The Mecca what?
I represent the Mecca hip hop.
Oh, okay, the Mecca. Okay.
Yeah.
You see, and I feel like Qiana, we need more acts like this in hip hop. Just because the first thing we turn on when we go to Hot 97 Z100, 105.1, this being from New York, we hear that kind of rap. You know what I'm saying? We're hearing the I'm too sexy for my clothes, or the Coiler Rays. Not knocking those songs either, but the more conscious hip hop songs where I'm going to put forward a message that actually connects to people. That doesn't, you don't have to put a needle in your arm or smoke some weed or go beat somebody up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's our reality every day, but there's other realities.
Right. We speak about things, and when you know how to articulate yourself well, right, you don't have to use those particular topics as a crutch. Like life every day, it can be hard. You know what I mean? You can literally talk about, like, I could drop bars about my morning commute. You understand what I'm saying? And it doesn't involve shooting anybody, but it's like
all about how you do it. It can still be dope.
It can still be dope because it's crazy. Right, you're painting the picture, you're telling the story, and that's where hip hop and rap began. Right, at the end of the day, it began telling the story of what people were going through, telling the story of your childhood, telling the story of the grimy streets, telling the story of poverty, telling the story of unfairness, telling the story of having to fight and not getting education and wanting more. And this is where, like you said, you started in hip hop to tell your story as a way to express yourself. And then you actually started to hone your craft. So I absolutely love that. So I know you've been doing a lot of shows and stuff. Before you wrap up, please definitely tell us what you have coming up next, where people can find you, and when this album is going to drop. And I know you have an album release party coming up, so let's talk about that.
Yes, I got the album will be out all platforms April 29th.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. I'm telling you now, I'm gonna put it on my Spotify, so as soon as it comes, right into my playlist.
14 tracks. I got 9 hit records on there, 5 underground B-side joints. You're gonna love the album. And Qiana, you heard a little bit of it. You heard one of the joints. I know you got one of them.
Yep.
Do you have any features on this album?
Yeah.
Do you have any features on this album? What features can I look out for?
Yeah, I got a few features. My brother from the GC show, Jay Cisco's on one song.
Okay.
He sings his ass off, partner. Oh my God. That voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Incredible. My bro Pyro Tracks, he's a battle rapper from Verbal Warzone. He's also a great artist. He's on one of my songs on there. I got my brother, Civil War. He's on the track with me. My female artist by the name of Ziala. She's on the song with me. But the most of the album is just me.
Okay.
I'm not too much of a feature person. You know
what I mean? But as a DJ, I must say I could appreciate a feature because it shows me, one, you know how to work with other people in your field. Yeah. And if you could cohesively put a song together where it sounds like both of you just didn't phone it in and just send a verse.
Not phone it.
You know what I'm saying? You know those songs where they phone it in and they just send a verse.
Well, I got one, but it sounds like it. I got one like that. Wasn't phoned in. It was emailed in with already the hook in place.
But as what my thing is,
song I came out with.
But we're talking about
as long as you have energy, like like if you have energy, synergy between the songs, or like you guys speaking on the same content, or you just rapping, I'm gonna kill someone and I'm gonna save someone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And those are the things I can appreciate for me. That's what I listen to.
Same story.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
don't get it twisted. I got that edgy side to me too, but like I said, time and a place. It's not 100% the same thing. The whole album. That's like I have different emotions. Like people need to stop acting. You hug and kiss your mom too. Like stop. We're not gonna act like you pushing your aunt out the way and shit. Like
right. Okay.
You got a soft side too.
Plug loving every day, right?
You wasn't raised like that. Stop, Timmy.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% mad all the time.
You know what I mean? Not every story has to be from the streets. All right. That's why I tell the rappers. Not every story has to be gritty. Tell your story. You don't have to. I'm gonna be a rapper. I gotta go get a gun to go shoot somebody, and then I gotta go make up a make-believe op so I can go rap about them.
That's the sad part too. Like just starting with people just to get clickbait,
clout.
That's just showing that you ain't good enough to make it on your own. So you got to start some drama.
Yeah,
that's great. But it don't be them. It be the team sometimes. The team tells these artists to do what they need to do. It don't always necessarily be the artist all the time.
True.
You know, like they have people they answer to. This is what you should do.
And this is why Distruck, and you ain't answering to nobody because you own it all and you own your own record. So this is why we hearing no substitute.
Exactly.
No doubt.
Here we go.
Owner and operator, and in the front of it and in the back of it, all me.
Yeah.
So tell us, you said April 29th.
April 29th.
Find you on all platforms.
All platforms.
When is your album release party? And where can everybody find you and reach you?
You can get me on my website. That's explosiverecordsllc.com. Explosive without the E in the front. All of my information is up there. My IG information, my Twitter, all my events, everything is up there. My videos,
album release party. Because I done asked twice. I know you invited me. You know I'm not coming because it's too far.
Yeah.
But like, is it an open
invite?
Is it for industry?
I felt you should know about it just so you know. You know what I'm saying?
appreciate
I knew you was gonna say no. You wasn't coming.
know
But I was, I'm gonna hit her up anyway.
How far are we talking? I'm gonna say we.
Bianca, she made it seem like I told
Oh
her.
no, we good. Yeah, I'm gonna slide. I want to see. You said you did acting. Yeah, I want to be there.
Yeah, we're gonna slide. We're gonna tag Qiana, and we're gonna be like, "What up?"
Tag me,
to Qiana.
Yo, superimpose me into a picture, bro. I'm cool with it. You know,
right.
y'all take a picture like this and just leave room for me in the middle, and then just stick me in the middle.
I'm gonna FaceTime you. I'm gonna hold your FaceTime right here in the picture.
There you go.
We're gonna prop you in.
Yeah, there we go. You got the purple goddess right there.
I'm always.
It's like a private. It's like a private invite because I don't want everybody up in there like that. So I hit people in the inboxes with the invites and shit.
I got you.
That's why kind of I wasn't saying where it is like that.
Right. I feel you. Okay, so that's perfect. Well, we can't wait.
But I'm gonna give you the information. I'm gonna give you all the info.
Yeah, and we'll get your album. You know, we'll get some of those singles definitely up on our Spotify playlist.
Yeah, I got a lot of them for you.
Yeah, and whenever you want to drop your first exclusive before you actually drop your album, let us know. You know, we got you.
And
yeah, I'm
before you get out of here, right before you get out of here, my brother,
I appreciate you letting me on the platform. I've been waiting all year for this.
Oh man, that put a smile on my face. My brother, I gotta make sure I get a drop from you. So when we do play the album on VPR, I can have that VPR exclusive Distruck drop. So I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna send you over that in email, my brother. And I want you to have a blessed Thursday. Continue shining, continue grinding, and I love that you own that LLC, my brother, and your own record label.
Yes,
I love
to
hear
that.
Yeah, I had to do it.
Mad people love, bro.
Man. Oh, I love to hear that, bro. But
you already know.
Enjoy your day, my brother. And I'll speak to you soon.
Appreciate it. You too. Take care. Thank you.
All right. We appreciate you, Distruck.
All right.
Stay safe. Oh, so dope. I absolutely love it. And we love when Libras come and join us. You know, that Libra energy is contagious.
All right, VPR. So I spend a lot of time sitting there editing these videos myself personally. Yep. Me and Qiana will be looking over and we get these videos out to you weekly. Yep. Now, in this video, before we cut out this live, look at my face when I first joined, because I was out of the VPR, and look at my smile right now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I do this.
That's the VPR effect, you heard?
You know what I mean? I am all smiles, and I just want everyone that tuned in today, and even if you didn't, to have a blessed Thursday, and I'll see you next week again.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for watching. Please stay blessed, stay positive, and keep toxic people out of your vicinity, okay? Stay dope. See you next week.